Hey, today on Free Field Training, we're going to be talking about diversion offenses, and I'll get more on that later. What it is a tactic that you can use to understand criminal behavior and up your self-initiated field activity. I get lots of comments and questions, being a field training officer for a police department, from new guys that are, how can I increase my self-initiated field activity when I'm in training? Because that's an important metric by which we judge new guys. And I've kind of gone back and forth with exactly what tips I can give you, because some of them really are operational security issues, and I'd rather not get into OPSEC issues on the channel. But I have found one that I think is going to be really useful for all of you, that it doesn't really give anything away that criminals don't already know, but lots of good people that come on the job don't think of. Before we get into that, I want to say Merry Christmas. I'm shooting this Christmas morning. Took some time away from my kids and the wife to come in the backyard and come hang out with all of you. I've got the Instagram live stream going here. We'll take some comments and questions from them at the end. Hopefully it's not too long so I can pack this up into a nice YouTube video for all of you. Also, we're doing the giveaway, and we're doing it live so people can see that I'm not gaming it in some way. Not that there'd be any reason for me to, because I've got a bunch of duty bags in my backyard. Sorry, in my garage. I don't need any more duty bags in my garage. So we're giving away, I do believe it's a duty bag and a Max Dry vest and some other stuff from the 5 things police officers need, but police departments don't issue. So here are all of our entries. I had to put them into like 6-point font and cut them all up last night in order to fit them all in a container that's actually of a size. I don't have to use a bucket this time from printing them in 12-point font. As you can see, and we'll show the live audience here, they are all different. So there's one. Crinkle that one up. Pick another random one here from the middle. Like I told people before, when we initially did this giveaway, you can enter as many times as you want, but I want them each to be different. So don't just copy paste the same thing. Also, it makes YouTube go nuts when you copy paste. It sends everything to the spam filter, and that's a pain in the butt. So then people don't enter. So we're gonna do the entry really quick. See who won it. Thank you for everyone that entered. There we go. Let's see who got it. Morgan J12. No, Morgan J, 2 months ago, commented a quality pair of handcuffs. Sorry about the wind noise, if you're having wind noise on here. I want you guys to be able to see. There's Morgan's entry. Thank you for everybody for entering. We'll make sure we get all that out to you right away. Now on to the topic of the video. A diversionary offense is when someone's doing something really bad. So, and bad's relative, I know, but something that's going to garner them a significant amount of jail time. Let's say somebody, like in Illinois, ecstasy pills are a really, really high level of offense. It's like you get to class X felony really, really fast with X. What they'll do is they'll transport, a big bundle of pills, and they'll hide that, like in a door panel, or they'll take the center console apart, they'll put it in there, they'll take the back of the seat off, and they'll shove the X pills in there. They'll take the rear seat out, put the pills underneath, close it up, they'll put it in the air filter, something like that, and then they'll get like 2 or 3 ounces of weed, and they'll put it in the car somewhere. It's going to become less common now as pot offenses become less of an offense in Illinois. It'll still be like illegal transportation or a tax offense instead of a misdemeanor or a felony offense, but they'll put a much lower level offense that still looks like they're trying to get away with something, and they'll put that somewhere pretty obvious in the car. So they'll put like a whole bunch of weed, or they'll put a gun but it's not stolen, but they don't have an FOID card, or whatever. They'll put something in the center console so that if they get stopped and they get searched, the cop will find whatever the diversion is and then not search any further. This is something that almost all criminals know, and especially people that are in the drug trade or in weapons trade, people that are doing bad things, they know about and they do. But new cops that have, let's say, goofy college kid aspirations, people that went to college, they never really had another job, they don't think like a criminal, they come out of the job not knowing. And I think it's important that people know, and it's not an OPSEC issue. So what can we take away from that? Well, one is, when you find something in a search, don't immediately stop and then start figuring out like, okay, well now I got to inventory this and I got to do that, and start thinking about that. Criminal investigations are one step at a time. So first you've got your reason for whatever you're stopping, whether that's the reasonable suspicion or the probable cause, and then you've got your cause to go in and search. And then once you have that cause to go in and search and you know how far you can search, you're seeing if you find something that leads you to search further. And if you do, make sure you get to the end of that search before you start deciding what you're going to do with the case, or figuring out whose case it's going to be, or whether we got to call the boss. And because the last thing you want to do is find the diversion and actually get diverted. And the only reason criminals do this is because it works, because people don't know about it. Especially a lot of people that work in nice neighborhoods. I get guys that have been cops for 5, 6, 7, 8 years. They come to us, and then somebody hits them with this diversion tactic. They find 2 ounces of weed in a car and they're like, oh man, look what I found. I was like, 1, that's not a big deal, and 2, there's probably something else. And then they look at me all funny when I'm disassembling the car, and then they're all shocked when I find like, big bag of Axe pills, or, big chunk of brown heroin or something in the car, or a gun, or, God only knows what else they're doing. So keep that in mind. That's not something that's just going to improve your self-initiated field activity. It's going to improve the quality of your self-initiated field activity, because there's going to be a huge difference to your training officer when you're out on the street. If you pull a car over and you find a gun in the center console because you worked up probable cause for the search, and the guy doesn't have, a FOID card, or he's a felon or something like that, or if you find that, and instead of stopping the search there and working on it, you find, the dead hooker in the trunk or something. Like, that looks way better that you found the actual offense and not the diversion that they were going for. So that's it for free field training this week. We're going to take some comments and questions from the Instagram live stream if anybody has any. If not, until next week, you guys be safe, take care of each other, Merry Christmas, and have a Happy New Year. All right. Take some shots from the Instagram live stream here, see if anybody has anything to say. I didn't see a whole lot of stuff coming up. Thank you everybody for stopping in, taking time away from your family Christmas morning. I only have a few minutes here, but we'll get through, see if anybody has something to say. Sol Malel asks, when people throw things out the window, does one officer go back? Generally how we'll handle that is whoever the primary is on the pursuit, or when they're following somebody, if they throw something out the window, we'll call it in, hey, they threw a small plastic package out the window at 4th and Main. We get a unit over there to pick it up, and then whenever somebody gets available, they'll head over there. There's going to be a lot of people, if you have a pursuit, that just aren't going to be able to get to the pursuit. I mean, for a while I was driving a car that you just couldn't take in pursuits, and so when somebody said, hey, they threw something out the window at 4th and Main, I'd be like, all right, hey, dude, how do you want to go pick that up? And I'd go over there and search around for it. So that's generally how we handle those types of things. Sometimes people will like bust open a package, it'll be all over the expressway. You just kind of do the best you can to pick up what's there. Unfortunately, sometimes you'll have the officer who's the primary on it won't notice it, because they'll be like so keyed in on the pursuit and driving and all that, which is understandable. And that's why when we get done with the pursuit, we always try to watch the dash cam footage from any cars that have a dash cam, so that way we can see if somebody tossed something out the window, see anything that we missed. It's a good question. Thank you. Very good question. Ethan from State Farm says, Tommy, bro, you're so inspirational. I set up my duty belt just like yours. Listen, I don't want you to set up your duty belt just like mine. I mean, it's great that you did. That's awesome if that works for you. But when I make those videos, what I'm trying to show you is things you should think about when you're setting yours up. There's lots of different ways to skin that cat. And I suggest that you watch a bunch of different duty belt videos from different people. I've got a couple from a couple different cops on my channel, the way that they're setting stuff up. My one buddy, Elby, we set up a new duty belt for him that I got from Safe Life Defense. That was an awesome video. It's done really well. Thank you everybody for watching it. But I don't want you to set it up just like mine. I want you to take the things that I'm saying about the way I set it up into consideration when you set yours up. Try to give you a leg up on doing it instead of having things all cattywampus on your belt. But I'm glad it works out for you. If it doesn't, man, change stuff around. Make it yours. JD Ozpat says, any input on a good car organizer? There's a lot of them. There's a lot of good car organizers out there. We just gave away at the beginning of the video a car organizer from a 911 Gear. What you're looking for is a duty bag. Blauer makes a big car organizer that's like a backpack. It's one of the few backpack car organizers that I think is really super worth it because it gives you lots of space and features specifically made for law enforcement. And if you have to walk a long way from your car to wherever you're storing your stuff, that might be something to look into. I generally don't like using just a backpack that's made for like backpacking as a car organizer because the pouches and stuff aren't set up for using it from the driver's seat when it's sitting in the passenger seat. 911 Gear, like I said, has several different types of car organizers, so you go check those out. 221B has this like expandable car organizer that's meant to be sat on your seat, strapped in, and then you can lay the front of the organizer down, and it's got a bunch of pouches that are made so that you can access them from your car seat. Who else has got one? 511 makes a really good duty bag. I've been a good fan of theirs. Uncle Mike's made one a while ago that it was not cheaply made, but not very feature rich, and so I have a hard time suggesting that because all the pouches were open tops, so you couldn't like zip things in. So you had the problem of if you had your duty bag and you were walking with it, you dropped it, you could zip the main compartment closed before you took the bag out of the car, but all of the side pockets would just dump out. So be careful of that. When you get a car organizer, look at it, look at the materials it's made of, how thick those materials are, and make sure all the pouches, or at least most of the pouches, zip shut, or snap shut, or Velcro shut, so that way when you drop it, and you will, slip it on ice coming into the station, all the stuff doesn't come falling out of it, because that's a big headache. Elpez M245 says, hey Tommy, I just started on my new job at a hospital security, and one of the policies that I can't carry a first aid equipment like my tourniquet. Have you heard any policies like that? A lot of organizations that I've been involved in have had policies against tourniquets. The Boy Scouts of America just reversed their policy on tourniquets, and now adult leaders are recommended not only to have them available to take training in their use, which I think is good. A lot of organizations are heading that way. I don't know why a hospital would be like that. You got me, but maybe it's they figure you're already in a hospital, go get, a medical professional that should be nearby. But an emergency, I don't see why. That seems pretty short-sighted to me. I'd have to know what their reasoning behind that was. Silverback Gorilla 85 says, how long is police training in your state? Here in Sweden is 2.5 years, way too long. I actually just released videos on YouTube, the prior 2 videos right before this one. So, graduating the police academy and graduating the police academy, your questions answered. Both of those address that in depth. So go check those out. All right. That's it for free field training this week. Until next week, you guys be safe. Take care of each other. Hey, thanks for watching free field training on YouTube. While you're here, check out one of our other videos, or head on over to the Patreon and see how you can get your name put on your videos like these fine folks over here. All the links are in the description, of course. We'll see you guys next time.